Hey everyone, Boogster0196 from Crack Studios TV back again, bringing you today an interactive guide for the Uncharted 3 treasure locations. So let's get this started. Alright, Uncharted 3 Chapter 1 treasure locations. So this is right after the bathroom fight where you fight this big massive dude. You cannot miss him. So what you do after that, you're going to walk out the door and go to this arcade machine, and the treasure is going to be right inside that arcade machine. And there's the first treasure that you can get. After you get that treasure, just go on through here, except don't go through that door. If you go through that door, you can't go back and you can't get this treasure. You gotta start it over. You're gonna take it right, go to the bar. It's gonna be right on this bar shelf right here. And those are all the treasures in Chapter 1. Chapter 2 treasure locations. So this is the very beginning, the start of Chapter 2. So what you're going to do, you're going to keep walking along this path, and the treasure is located in the second to last cannon right here, right inside of it. Just pick the treasure and you got it. Alright, so this is still the beginning of Chapter 2, and you're going to get to these stairs right here. So instead of going up those stairs, you're going to take a right into this room right here. You're just going to keep going into this room, and behind this plant right here, there's going to be the second treasure. Okay, so Drake just got kicked out of the museum, and so after that scene, you're gonna go to this blue car right here, then you're gonna take a right, then a left, and then the treasure's gonna be laying on the floor by this slightly open door. Alright, so you just got done with the cutscene where Drake just ate some rotten fruit, and from there, you're gonna keep walking along this street right here, and you're not gonna follow Sully. Sully's gonna go straight ahead into this meat market here. You don't want to do that, or you're gonna miss some pretty important treasures. So what you want to do, you're going to go to this blue stand right here, then once you get past it, just take a right, and the treasure is going to be on this first pottering table, or pottering stand over here, and that's where you get the treasure. Alright, so we just got done getting past the scene where Drake just ate some rotten fruit. And you're going to keep following the street, but you're not going to follow solely into the meat stand area. You're actually going to take a left. You're going to keep going until you see this narrow alleyway right here. Climb up these stairs, and the treasure's going to be right at the top. Alright, so you just got past the cutscene where Drake was spying on Sully through the window. After that, you're going to jump onto the balcony to your right. Then you keep on going and jump to the nearest yellow pipe. The pipe almost breaks and you fall, but then you're just going to swing on over to the closest balcony to Drake, climb up this balcony right here, and just keep following it all the way to the end. And once you reach the end, the treasure is going to be right there by a pot, and there you go. Alright, so we just came from that balcony, jumped on that sign, jumped to that ledge, all the way into this roof right here. You gotta go up the roof, then go down the roof, and then once you get to the sign, you gotta jump on the sign, except instead of going down, you're gonna go all the way up, and the treasure is gonna be located on the sign. So we're a few minutes into Chapter 3, and so how I got here is, I climbed up all those roofs, then climbed to those lampposts, and swung all the way into this roof right here. Then you're going to keep following this roof all the way to the end, and this is going to be an L-shaped balcony. You're going to climb down this pipe, all the way so you can go onto this balcony. Then you're going to pull yourself up over the balcony, and the treasure is going to be to your left. Alright, as soon as you pull yourself up from the balcony, you're going to break into the museum. And the treasure is going to be located right on this old diving suit. And you can see this diving suit as soon as you walk into the museum. Once you break into the museum, you're not going to go to the box where you open it with the key. If you do that, it's going to start the cutscene and you won't be able to get this treasure. Instead, you're going to go to the left upper corner of the museum and the treasure is going to be located there. This is the beginning of chapter 4, and once Nate and everybody else hears the sirens, they don't want to get caught by the cops. So they take a shortcut through this little narrow alleyway here.
Come on, Charlie, what's the whole
and the way to determine or distinguish where this treasure is, you'll end up before getting it seeing this cutscene where Charlie is claustrophobic. So after this cutscene, you're gonna jump over this little metal bar right here, and then you're gonna take a right, and the treasures will be located right here at this dead-end alleyway.
Looks like that'd hold your
So
weight.
no one can get the garage door open. So what do? They send poor Nate to climb up all the way up the building and around just to get the garage door open up for them. So I'm gonna show you guys me or Nate climbing up this building. I want to show you guys this because I don't want anybody getting confused on how I got to this treasure. So I'm just gonna climb around the building here as Nate, and once we get inside, I will be able to show you where the treasure is. So this is where you start getting into the building right here. You jump through this window, then you're on this wooden platform. You have to jump to this piping right here.
Where did it go?
Climb down all the way into these windows. In Chapter 4, after you break into the warehouse, there's going to be a tall pile of boxes just in the corner of the warehouse. So what you're going to do, you climb up those boxes, and once you get to the top, there's going to be a treasure up there. In Chapter 4, you're going to encounter a generator room. As a matter of fact, in the generator room is going to be your first pair of enemies that you're going to kill. Now behind the generator I'm going to show you is going to be some dark shadow. It's going to be dark and shadowy, and the treasure's going to be right there. So I just came from that platform up there, and then you're going to jump down, and then you're going to keep on going forward through this doorway right here. Once you get past this doorway, you're going to encounter a room. And once you encounter this room, you're going to jump on that pipe straight ahead of you. And then you're going to start heading left, climbing the pipes towards the left. And as you scale this cylindrical waterway, you're going to encounter a grate. And in that grate, there's going to be the treasure. And there you go.
Careful, it's slippery.
So Nick just knocked down a ladder to help his friends get up here. You're going to climb up this ladder and encounter a room, this big circular room. And in this room, you need to pull down 2 levers to open up a bridge. But before you go to those levers, keep climbing up and head left. You're going to keep heading left, and the treasure's going to be sitting on a little ledge. On the lower floor of the library, right when you enter and stealthily take out 2 enemies, look for a lion and elephant heads mounted on the wall. You can climb up the wall next to the lion head and get to a small ledge with the treasure on it. It's above the painting of a guy with wings on a horse. This treasure is located on the upper floor of the library, but you can't get to it when you first arrive there. After getting the map from the gold deer head and killing the enemies that barge in, circle back to the top level of the subterranean library. Under a display case in the upper walkway, you'll find this treasure. As you backtrack through the large subterranean train station with all of the enemies, you'll have a gun so you can shoot this treasure down. It's on a ledge under the giant clock above this train. In the North Atwood subway station, the treasure is on one of the tracks beneath one end of the train car. Be careful, as there is going to be quite a few enemies in here, so you're going to have to take them out first in order to get this treasure. In the beginning of Chapter 6, in the forest, there's a small stream. Follow the stream downstream to its termination point in a little cave and pick up this treasure in the pool there. In the forest at the beginning of the chapter, you'll come across a statue of a guy playing a flute. A short path above the statue leads to a small wall with a treasure behind it. When you first climb up the castle, do not enter the first hole you come to in the round tower. You're going to climb, hang, and jump to the right, and you can find some ledges that lead up to a higher hole in the tower. Here you'll find the treasure.
What
about that window above you?
I don't want to cut myself.
After swinging from the chandeliers and working your way through the castle, a short cutscene will reveal the old tower. You are now supposed to hop out a window at the top of some stairs. Do not leave just yet though. Search the dead end of the hallway on the second floor behind the stairs for this treasure. In the room with 4 statues with gold weapons you must rotate, there is a small adjacent room with red curtains next to it. Search the top of the curtains for the glimmer of this treasure, shoot it down and it will fall to the floor and you will be able to pick it up.
Come here, check it out.
When you fall through the floor into the caves below, run downhill and search for a treasure behind a stalagmite. Right when you first get grenades, kill all the enemies in the quick grenade tutorial, then hop down and look for this treasure in the corner near the closed door. After reuniting with Sully, you'll take on a ton of enemies in a large courtyard. At the end of this, you and Sully will break through a door. Below is the floor puzzle. Do not go there yet. Instead, look for an adjacent room on the top level with some handholds. You can climb up these to reach a high platform with a treasure on it. On the ceiling of John Dee's laboratory, there's a treasure you can shoot down. Shoot it down, and the treasure will fall to the floor and you'll be able to pick it up. And that's the last treasure for Chapter 6. After you escape the spiders and re-enter the castle, you'll have to cross a gap using a chandelier. You'll pull down a part of a ceiling creating a ramp for Sully. Use this ramp to climb up the topmost floor above where you just were. Follow the floor around to a room with the treasure on the floor. At the start of the level, after climbing past the first door, you'll pass under a large stone arch. Look to your right and a large chunk of the wall is missing, and it is all lit up. Drop down here and you can climb over the arches to get the treasure. After fighting the first enemies, let down the drawbridge. A locked gate is your next destination, but look up to the left of this locked gate. You see a flashing treasure on the wall. You can shoot it down, and it will drop and you'll be able to pick it up. After fighting the first enemies, let down the drawbridge and shoot the lock off
Sully,
the door to
over
continue.
here.
As soon as you pass through the unlocked gate,
Right
look
back
to
up.
your right and the statue has a treasure on it. When you ride the bucket down into the well, take out the enemies and then look for this one in one of the rooms. If you climb up from the wall, just keep left and you'll walk through a door right into the treasure. You can get this treasure at various points in the chapter, but you can get this first just after emerging from the well. After you and Sully shoot each other's locks off, walk through the unlocked gate and turn around. Look up, high above the gate on the fortress wall is a shining treasure. Shoot it down and pick it up. In the interior of the tower with the spiral staircase, check the first landing you come to for this treasure. It's in the window to the left of the two windows near the stairs leading up. After the last fight in the chapter, you will see several snipers in the building ahead. Sully will shoot the building with an RPG, killing the snipers. Once you enter the hole that Sully created, turn right and in the corner you will see this treasure. In the room with a large globe, search the perimeter of the area for a treasure sitting on the floor by the wall. It's about a quarter of the way around to the left. After lighting all the torches and scaring off all the spiders, you'll come back to a pair of switches that fill a chasm with water, allowing you to return to the globe. A treasure is in a rafter above the water.
Let's give it a go.
Let the water fill all the way to the top, then hop in and use your handgun to shoot the treasure. Swim under it and you can press triangle to snag it as it falls. Note, you need to snag the treasure as soon as you shoot it while it's falling. If you let it fall in the water, it will sink and you won't be able to get it, and then you will have to restart the chapter, or no, to the last checkpoint and do it again. After rotating the giant globe, take the spiral staircase up to the tomb. As soon as you leave the staircase, search the left wall for a treasure. It's by some skeletons. At the very start of Chapter 10, before going through the first gate, Elena opens, look by the fruit stands for a treasure on the ground.
Alright, there. You see that tower up ahead? That's where the old city starts, so we need to make our way over there. Salam.
وعليكم السلام. تفضلوا.
Okay, through here.
After going down a set of stairs just before coming to a large area with lots of stands, search the side of the fountain you pass for this treasure. This treasure can be found just after the shopkeeper opens the gate for Elena. Go through the gate and look for this on a small, raised area with a cactus. And by that, you will see the treasure laying there.
Damn it, this thing's locked.
اسمح لي
ها؟ نعم.
من فضلك افتح الباب.
طبعا طبعا تفضلي.
شكرا.
Thanks, pal.
تفضلي أختي.
Good thing we've got you with us.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay, up here.
Great, more cops.
Yeah, it looks like we're not getting through here either.
Gonna have to find...
When you cut through the building with the red carpet, this is on the landing at the top of the stairs next to a red couch and a desk.
Be in here.
Oh, come on. We'll just cut through. It'll be fine. Just don't break anything.
You can get this treasure right after the fight scene in the market, where you fight a bunch of enemies. Walk out the gate and search for it along the right side of the wall, and it'll be laying there. You can get this treasure right after the fight scene in the market. Walk down the stairs and double back to pick this up in the dead end. After the market fight scene, follow Sully and Elena down the stairs, and instead of pursuing them through the dark alley that terminates into the final cutscene, look for a ledge with some boxes on it you can climb up to. You'll find this treasure up on the ledge, and this is right in the area where you find the previous two treasures. This treasure can be found right at the start of the level as you climb down the ladder into the well. Do not drop below. Climb around the cylindrical grate to the rear side and pick this up. You can also get this at the end of the level if you miss it. After you open the secret passage in the bottom of the cistern, search the left corner right after you enter the hallway with cogs on both sides for a treasure. It's just before you come to the large room with 3 doors. This treasure is in the room with the gear puzzle. Search the sandy area above the doorway for it, and it's behind the column laying there. In the room with all the floating body parts, head down the stairs and hang a left to find this treasure on the ground.
Okay, all the floating body parts? This is giving me the creeps.
Alright, you guys wait up here. I'll go check it out.
In the room with all the floating body parts, grab the staff at the center of the room, facing the central image on the wall. Turn 90 degrees and look up at the ceiling. Now, when you look up at the ceiling, you're going to, I believe, press L1. You're going to zoom in with the staff. And once you do that, you can look at the treasure. Then the treasure will fall to the ground. Then you can place the staff in a hole in the ground and pick up the treasure.
I guess that wasn't right either.
After you leave the well, walk out into the market and take a right. The treasure is at a dead end in front of a door. After you leave the well, walk out into the market. This treasure is on a bench under an overhang to the right of the fountain. After you leave the well, walk out into the market. Do not go near Sully and Elena. This treasure is to the left of the fountain in the shade of an overhang.
Alright, up here. This way.
During the chase scene with Talbot, he finally escapes into a crowd. Just before entering the crowded area, look for a small set of stairs on your right. Climb these to find a treasure behind some boxes. At the beginning of chapter 12, right after the initial brawl, climb out to the top of the cargo containers and look for this treasure in the corner. After you get your holster back, follow the hallway to the door leading out to the shipyard. Turn around here and look for a small closet with this treasure on the ground. In the area with all the floating platforms, boats, and turrets where you have a huge shootout, search the wall opposite from where you entered the area from a hole you can swim through. On the other side is a climbable wall. Climb it and pick up the grenade launcher if you need it, and turn around and leap across the gap to pick up the treasure. After the huge shootout amongst the boats, you'll climb to a new area and find a few more enemies. After this, you need to push a box off a ledge to reach a corroded ship hull in the distance. Once you clamber your way across this, you'll find yourself on a relatively solid ground. Look around, and you should spot this treasure on a beam nearby. To get here, you must carefully jump from beam to beam using quick taps of the jump button. If you hold it down, you leap past the beams and die. Use the small jumps to reach the treasure. When you finally reach the top of the boat, you'll swing to a platform just outside the radio tower. Do not jump off this final rope. Stop swinging and climb it to the top. Above this is a treasure. When you finally reach the top of the boat, you'll swing to a platform just outside the radio tower. Before heading into the radio tower, drop off near the far side of the platform and climb down to this treasure. After the cutscene in the radio tower, do not take the zipline or you won't be able to get the treasure. Look for this treasure in the corner before zipping down. After the very start of the chapter, keep to the right as you fight your way through the floating platforms. Look for a lookout tower near a green tugboat. This treasure is under the tower in a corner on a barrel. At the very start of the chapter, look for a red floating crate. Near this is a yellow cargo container with treasure inside it. This is pretty much on the opposite side of the area from the first treasure. Before lowering the green bridge to leave this first area, search the exterior boardwalk area nearby for this treasure. Right at the beginning of the chapter, look in a small area along the outer walkway for a treasure on the ground. Just past the escape boat you can use to climb to the second level is a dead end with this treasure on the ground. In the area where you fight the heavily armored pirate with the machine gun, jump on the shifting yellow cargo container in the middle of the area, and then jump into a secret area with this treasure. This treasure is in the corner of the pool area to the left of the rotating door. It's pretty difficult to find, so just keep searching there until you see the treasure symbol pop up. After the ballroom shootout, several enemies will bust through a door, allowing you to proceed. Go through the door and turn right to find the treasure at the dead end of the hallway. After the ballroom shootout, several enemies will bust through a door, allowing you to proceed. Go through the door and turn left and pass the hallway that leads into the ship. At the far end of the corridor is a treasure. After the ballroom shootout, enter the hallways leading to the ship's hold. One room has a bar in it. Behind the bar is a treasure amongst the empty bottles. Just as a heads up, there are going to be a couple enemies that you can take out in a sneakily manner, so yeah. Just before entering the ship's hold, you'll have to go down a few flights of stairs. At the bottom, snag the treasure which are behind and under these stairs. Just before jumping down into the hole to save Sully, grab the treasure on the platform just to the left as you enter. Do this before you jump down, like I said before, or you won't be able to get it and you have to restart to the last checkpoint. After you run from the water and get trapped under the heavy object underwater, you'll climb one of the ship's hallways vertically using some doors for hand grips. On the way up, looking for a bathroom you can pull yourself into and collect the chapter's lone treasure. In the beginning of chapter 16, you and Elena opened up a garage door and you are now inside of this first garage. So in this first garage, this treasure is atop a precarious pile of boxes. Climb up them and the treasure is up there. After you use the skylights to infiltrate the warehouse when the first enemy's in it, search the corner for a pile of boxes for a treasure on top of it. At one point, you and Elena push a car down a hill through a fence. You can jump into another warehouse here with a green car in it. In the corner behind the car, you'll find the treasure.
Damn it! How many of them are there?
Too many. We just have to get through here as quietly as possible.
In Chapter 18, you're going to get to this part
Oh, well.
where it's almost like a cutscene, except it's quite similar. But you're
thank
going
God.
to walk all the way to this well right here, and once you get to the well, there's going to be a little pot. You can either shoot or run over it, and the treasure is going to be right under it, and then you can pick it up. At the entrance to the settlement is a locked gate.
That's
Just to the left of it
least
is
it's
a
real.
treasure. In the beginning of the level, after you fall through the floor at the start of the level, search the room you land in for this treasure.
Didn't need that.
When you climb out of the wall, run through the doorway ahead, and when you pass through a second doorway, turn around and look by the column in the middle of the area for this treasure. After you encounter the first enemies, an enemy shoots the ground out from under you. When you regain your footing, search for this ring in the pit. After you encounter the first enemies, an enemy shoots the ground out from under you. Climb out of the pit and go up the stairs. Just before the huge shootout scene with all the laser-sighted enemies, look for this treasure along the left side of the area at the top of the stairs. In the area with the big shootout and the first enemy with the rocket launcher, look for a secret area you can drop into just left of the passage leading to the next area. After squeezing through the tight area after the big firefight with the first rocket launchers, vault over the edge of the wall, and before going through the fancy arches, look for this treasure in the shadows. In the area with the jeep on the columns and the gate you need to clear with the rocket launcher, face the gate and turn right. Follow the path through the buildings to the right of the gate to find the treasure. Just as you enter the large doors after the fight with the two trucks with turrets, look to your left to pick up this treasure on a mound of sand.
Come on, let's get inside.
Climb up the ladder to the right in the massive entrance area solely stays to pull the switch. Drop off the ledge to the right of the switch. Pick up this treasure on a platform below. Climb up the ladder to the right in the massive entrance where Sully stays to pull the switch. Hop up to the chandelier and climb around to the far side and pick up a treasure on it. As soon as you enter the Atlantis of Sands, head down the stairs and take a left at the fork. Where the stairs are broken off, pick up another treasure.
Another dead end.
Jesus, how the hell we get down from here?
2 points. As soon as you enter the Atlantis of Sands, head down the stairs and look for a tower top you can jump into and snag a treasure on your way to the fountain. In the first fight with the flame-headed demons, as soon as you land, turn right and run into the structure. Look for this treasure on above some stairs along the black wall. After the spider hallucination, you'll be returned to the bottom of the elevator. Turn around and grab the treasure before heading down the street in your drug-induced daze. When you wake up from your hallucination in the pool, run down the hallway and search the left side for a treasure. At the very start of the chapter, look for this treasure at the bottom of the spiral stairs. At the bottom of the elevator, after you meet up with Sully, run along the path to the stairs on the far side of the chasm. At the bottom of the stairs is the final treasure along the right wall. Thank you guys for watching
Amazing.
the Uncharted 3
This is how they move the water to the surface.
Crack Studios TV and Boogster 096. Peace.
I'm surprised the whole place hasn't come crashing
Also,
down yet.
feel free to click my
how the hell it's
watermark in
still
the
standing.
corner if you guys want to check out my channel. Thank you. See you all later.